minutes for you to see what has been done. There it is. So let's go. 7 minutes. Thank you.
We met a myriad of challenges and problems, particularly as related to irregular migration. A lot of people, a lot of youngsters, just wanted to travel, they wanted to leave home. Because of the conditions at home, they were prepared to take very dangerous and perilous trips across the Sahara to just get to where they believe would be better than home.
My name is Johnson Abo. I am 12 years old. I'm a Nobe Primary School student. I live in Oredo, Benin City. I am a Primary 5 BPP. My biological father, he took me to Togo and something happened to him and he left. When my father died, I was very sad and they brought me from Togo to Nigeria and I came to Obe Primary School. The experience in this school have made me happy and has taken care of my sadness. I am now happy to learn.
When we decided to look deeper, look at the root causes of this irregular migration and the lack of hope and despondence, we found out that the educational system contributed largely to this crisis because the school system had broken down. These children were not being trained properly. And so as a government, we decided to focus on the foundation, getting it right at the base, believing that once we get it right at the base, everything else will fall in place. And so we undertook a major restructuring of our basic education system. That's how we came about the acronym Edo Best, which in a sense was to improve the quality of education at the basic level.
Our learning before was very hard, but now that Edo Best is in our school, our learning is fun, everything is fun for us, the teaching is fun. I love to come to school because the Edo Best has made teaching fun for me. It makes everything fun because of the share. I come to school and the teacher teaches me well. And I want my name to appear in the character board.
I was in a private school, so learning has not been comfortable for me. And I was brought to Obe Primary School. I saw difference between the private school and Obe Primary School. I'm very happy to learn with Edo Best. I'm not comfortable to learn.
How do you standardize the curriculum and have the same things taught to all the children in Edo State at the same time? It meant first you had to make sure that you bring in technology into these classrooms. We gave the teachers digital notebooks, which meant that the same lesson plan was now being taught across all the schools in the state. We also ensured that the teachers were trained in how to implement and deliver on the new curriculum.
The best of us have been brought us since the inception of this Edo Best. I think it's very interesting to be an Edo Best teacher. As a teacher, I have grown very well. If I want to take a margin, the margin is very wide. Unlike before, we were limited. But since the inception of Edo Best, our scope has been widened.
Nobody wants to come late, except those that don't have conscience. I don't want to take care of the children because the life of the children is our priority. So we want to be in the school on time, and the children are in school on time, and the learning will take effect on time. The majority of the parents are happy. Some persons are moving their children from the private school to my school. I'm talking about my school. They are moving them to my school.
So, why the motivation? We found out that everything rests on the foundation. If the foundation is right, then you can build everything else on the foundation. So for the development of a human being, if you train them right, give them the right quality of education at a very early age, at the foundation of their lives, they're likely to build on that very strong foundation, both morally, ethically, and academically.
At my signal.
You are awesome, awesome.
So time. Thank you very much. When I became education secretary, I did a foundation visit to schools. See, even today, as we speak, with this town hall meeting, you see children in CCD reading from the one textbook. It has never happened in the history of education in Edo State. What this is telling us is that in the next future, the children you will be seeing today will be competing with the children outside the world. For me, it is a yes, yes, yes for Edo Best to continue.
We have essentially 5 major indicators that we look at all the time on a daily basis. Are teachers in school? If they are in school, are they teaching? If they are teaching, are the pupils learning? And if the pupils are learning, what are the measures of that? And so we've seen tremendous progress in 3 years. We are not fully where we ought to be, but we know where we are going. We know the challenges facing us, and we are resolute about completely transforming basic education in Edo State, because the children of Edo State deserve the best.
Edo Best has been acclaimed as one of the most successful education transformation projects in Africa. And that is why Edo State is the only subnational in Africa that's been selected among the top 6 accelerator education countries. The other countries in that league are Sierra Leone, Mozambique, Rwanda, Kenya, and I believe Egypt. The only subnational in that league is Edo State. So that tells you that the success of Edo Best is not only acclaimed locally, but globally. Are we happy? Yes, we are very proud of what we've done. Today, the almost 250,000 children in our basic education system, in almost 850 schools, learn at the same level with the same quality.
Edo ni mo se me, Edo ni mo se. Ibi Edo mahi, Edo ni mo se. Edo. Edo ni mo se.
Wonderful testimony. I think that applause was too tame. Let's give a resounding applause. Edo State is doing something no other state in this country has done. So let's clap for ourselves. Good job, me. Good job, you. Good job, you. Exactly. We are doing a good job, so we must clap for ourselves. People like us who went to school in those days, when school was school, we truly are very happy to see this. And other people are also happy to see this. I know that's why, because we have on cue, live from Abuja, a good...
I just saw a documentary there on the birth of Edo Best. That's how it all started 3 years ago. Earlier, you also saw pupils of Adesua Primary School, one of the many public schools in Benin City, on display there. Of course, you have over 300,000 children across 1,029 public primary and 471 junior secondary schools in Edo State. Today, we are going to see and find out how Edo Best has achieved impactful learning 3 years on.
So if Mr. Wu Chang is ready, can we have Mr. Wu Chang's, can we link up to him on Zoom? He'd been waiting for us. We just told him to give us a little bit of time. And just to remind you again, we are live on Channels Television. We are live on African Independent Television. We are live on the Nigerian Television Authority. We have done so well. It's the least that we can do. There he is. Thank you very much, Mr. Chang, for joining us. We appreciate your patience. So we're going to take your goodwill message right now.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, the Commissioner for Education, the Chairman, Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to grace this event as it seeks to showcase the strides achieved by His Excellency Governor Obaseki in education. The success of the EdoBest program has resonated across Nigeria as a leading example of how state government can leverage technology to drive educational development in the state. During my last visit to you, the demonstration of the use of technology and its application to ensure the continued learning effectively and efficiently is commendable and worthy of emulation. I was pleased to see the level of expertise, ingenuity, and dedication towards improving basic education in the state. KOICA, Korea International Cooperation Agency, identifies with excellence, and I am delighted to identify with Governor Obaseki and the people of Edo State as you celebrate the achievement so far. We also identify with genuine effort toward positive transformation. This goodwill message assures you of our highest cooperation in Nigeria. I congratulate you and your team on the laudable achievement and express my gratitude for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chan. We appreciate your support, and again, we appreciate your patience. And calling all the way from Washington, D.C., we have the Global Director of Education, Yemi Saavedra, all the way from Washington, D.C. Can we have that play? My children are waiting. Some of them said they had a bad this morning, so they will be strong. And deal with governor today. Say, governor, they make mouths. Today, it will show, say, the children that he has raised, not only will make him proud, but they will put him on his toes. I have 3 children waiting, and I have 3 in the audience too. I saying, Auntie, I have to be part of this. But we want to, as much as possible, while we are sharing results, we also want to know what does the future hold. So those children probably will ask those questions. Me, I don't know. Are we ready with Ms. Yemi Saavedra? Are we good to go? That's right.
Governor, dear Chair of SUBEB, representatives of the government of Edo State, and students, thank you so much for inviting the World Bank to reflect on this special occasion that marks the 3rd anniversary of EdoBest. This is an excellent example of how countries and states can make progress to improve education when there is real political commitment. We believe that Edo State can set a great example for other states in Nigeria and even for other countries. That is why Edo is part of the World Bank UNICEF Accelerators Program, a program that brings together countries and states that have the political will to put all resources and reforms necessary to improve learning of their children and youth. Today is a great opportunity to reflect on the achievements, but also to look forward and think about what to improve. I want to highlight 3 aspects of the EdoBest program that show its impact and its potential. First, the expanded use of technology. Since its conception in 2018, EdoBest was conceived as a whole system reform approach that leverages modern digital technologies backed by the science of learning to improve the teaching and learning processes. Second, the understanding that technology on its own is critical but not enough. It is about combining technology with the human factor. In Edo, for example, the deployment of tablets with scripted lessons has been accompanied with a lot of support for teachers through practical teachers training and the presence of quality assurance officers. And third, Edo has been very fast at adapting to the reality of COVID-19. EdoBest at Home incorporated digital self-study packets distributed via WhatsApp, interactive quizzes, digital storybooks, and lesson guides to deliver to parents, all interesting innovations. We all need to continue learning on remote technologies, but this shows that mitigating the impacts of shocks like this pandemic is possible when there is enough commitment. Investing in human capital, in the education of our children, is critical for their welfare and well-being, but is also instrumental in fostering innovation and long-term growth and development. A highly skilled workforce earns higher wages, is more innovative and productive, and cope better with economic shocks. In today's world, we need that more than ever. Thus, it is imperative to empower youth with the right kind of education for the future. To do that, we need to take into consideration how the future of work is changing. Artificial intelligence, automation, and other technological trends are transforming traditional systems, industries, and institutions, challenging human capabilities in unprecedented ways. The labor market is tangibly changing. In the next years, new careers and occupations will emerge that we can't even imagine today. Many repetitive and low-skilled jobs will disappear. The demand for advanced skills will continue to grow. With automation, it is difficult to predict in which sector jobs will be created and where will they disappear. In fact, within the same sectors, tasks will change. The combination of human and machine will change. The only certainty in this new area is uncertainty and the constant need to learn and reinvent ourselves. The jobs of the future will require a combination of at least 3 types of skills: foundational, socio-emotional, and digital. We need to assure that all children and youth acquire this breadth of skills. Foundational skills are the basics of literacy and numeracy and are the pillars on which all the other skills are built. Without them, acquiring all the other capabilities that we care about becomes very difficult or impossible. So, for example, all children should be able to read and understand by age 10. Reading is a gateway for learning other skills like math, science, the humanities, and social-emotional skills. In the world today, many children are finishing primary school without the capacity to read. We are failing them, and we need to correct that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We like that. Austin is coming back on stage now.
Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is at this point that the pupils of selected schools would like to have an interaction with His Excellency. Your Excellency will crave your indulgence to come on the hot seat. This is the point at which...
This hot seat is brown. No problem. We have checked it out. The hot seat is brown.
Please support His Excellency. The questions coming are tough. Please support His Excellency, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. No, he's going to be right there. Or where should we put him, guys? In the middle. We've checked out this chair.
Is he here?
Okay. He wants to sit with them. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Take your seat. Go ahead. They're coming, but I want to introduce them. You are the one on the hot seat, too.
That's why we'll bring in the pupils now.
So I'm going to start with my youngest in the
Okay, we had goodwill messages from China and then the World Bank commending Edo State government for use of technology to make a difference in education of school children. Good luck.
Good job, you.
Edo Best came on board 2018, way before the COVID-19 pandemic. It was almost as if government saw the future.
The next person is from Benin Primary School.
Well, what happened then, the state governor introduced Edo Best at home, introducing e-learning, which enabled the children continue their education even at the height of COVID-19.
So how were they able to do all of that? They reach out to the parents and...
Our moderator is a tall, dark, handsome young man who's been doing some breath exercises to get ready. It is my pleasure to welcome Ebaide Momodu from Emota Primary School in Oredo. This is your seat, my dear. Top knuckle. That's right. Did you ever believe that one day in your life you'll be chopping knuckle with the governor of Edo State? No. So what does that do to you? How do you feel?
I feel really happy.
What else? Are the butterflies running in your stomach right now? Be honest.
Yes.
So what are you going to do to them? Kick them out or welcome them into your stomach?
Kick them out.
Great, a round of applause. Are you ready? Do you know what? I think should we put one on the other side? Yes. I hope put to that side so that you can look left and right. That's right. Thank you. So the floor is yours. You have 10 minutes to drill your governor. Go ahead.
Good day, Your Excellency.
Good day.
Parents, teachers, and my fellow learners. My name is Ebade Momodu, a primary 6 pupil of the Motan Primary School here in Benin City. Sir, it is really a great privilege having to interact with you, Your Excellency. We know you are a visionary governor, which has led you to come up with revamping basic education. Sir, why was Edo Best initiated?
You see, when I became governor in 2016, I noticed that we had major problems with young people in the state. Many of them had lost hope. The biggest industry was that people wanted to travel. They just, anything that would take them out of Edo State, they went for. So if you recall, maybe you were very young then, you go to all the motor parks in the night, you see lots of young people being carted away through Kano, through Libya, running away to Europe. Also, for those who remained, you see, a lot of them were in the motor parks. There were no jobs, they were not employable. So that forced us as a government to think that, look, if you don't do something now about the future, then we'll have a major crisis. And so we realized that the reason why a lot of the young people were having problems, why they were feeling hopeless, was because they did not have good quality education, the type we got when we were growing up. So that is what led me and my team to say that if we don't achieve anything else as a government, we should restore education so that we can train the new generation of children at the foundational stage so that they can get quality education. So by the time you are 15, nobody is going to deceive you that there's work in Europe, because you can read up yourself, you can know what is going on. You can be connected to the world like every other child in the world. So we're glad that we started Edo Best, because 3 years after, you can see. Today you can go online. You can check out any information you need. Nobody can deceive you because you are able to read and write at a very, very early stage.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, sir. Yes. There are also other questions that my co-learners in the panel would like to ask you. Your permission, sir.
Please.
Hope Omogakina.
Who wants that? Yes.
Good day, Your Excellency. My name is Hope Omodakina. I am in Primary 5, a pupil of Ebenezer Primary School in Oredo local government area here in Benin City. I'm here to ask you a question, sir, which is, Your Excellency, sir, when we leave primary school, we are going to secondary school, which is not in good shape at present. What will happen to us then, sir?
Thank you. Thank you. You see, for Edo Best is work in progress. Important thing is that we have started the reform. We cannot complete all the changes, all the reform in one day. Every year, we make sure that we spend as much money as we can get to reform, to rebuild a lot of your classes. If you notice, we're putting more furniture, we're getting children to sit on chairs, not on the floor anymore. We can't complete all of it in 3 years, but I can assure you that over the next 5 to 7 years, every school in Edo State will have the same standard in terms of furniture and learning.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
August Aogiagbe, your question, please.
Good day, Your Excellency. My name is August Aogiagbe. I am a primary 5 pupil of Olua Primary School in a local government area here in Benin City. Your Excellency, sir, I have a question to ask you. When we graduate from secondary school, we are going to university. And from what we hear from our big brothers and sisters, universities are not too good either. Your Excellency, how do we cope?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that is a good question. Well, that is one of the reasons why we're here today, to explain to you what the future holds for you. We know that with Edo Best over the last 3 years, you have improved your learning. You are now learning better, you are now more confident. So your concern and fears are real. When you leave primary school, primary 6, what happens to you? Are you going to get the same quality and standard when you get to JSS? Then, what about SSS? And then the universities. Your fears are real. So today, what we're going to be doing this morning is to explain the plan. What plans we have for you when you get to JSS, what plans when you get to SSS, because one of the things we want to achieve is that by the time you are 15 years old, when you are finishing from GSS 3, you must be ready for work. You must have some skills, right? Not everybody will end up going to university. But the fact that you have not gone to university does not mean you will not be successful in life. Some of us will go and learn trades. Some of us will learn, other handwork, some vocation. But whatever it is, you have the same foundation as that person who's going to become a professor. For the universities, we are working very, very hard. I will explain to you what we're doing with our own universities. We have two. We have AAU and we have Edo University, Iyamo, Zaire University. And in these two schools, we're making sure that we restructure them, that the education you will obtain from our universities will be the same as you will obtain from any university anywhere in the world. Because we're working to see how we can affiliate our universities to global universities so that you don't have to leave Nigeria and spend all those expenses to get the same quality of university education in Nigeria. So we're working very hard to make sure that the same philosophy, the same methods we've used to get Edo Best to become what it is in 3 years, those same methods will be used to change junior schools, senior schools, technical schools, and the university.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Hope and Augusta.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are we okay, or you have more questions?
Your Excellency, sir.
Yeah.
We still have some learners among the audience who have some questions to get clarity about. Your Excellency. Oka for God's will. Let's hear from you.
Hello, Okafor. Okay.
Good day.
Okafor must be in KG.
Good day, Your Excellency. My name is Okafor Augustine. I'm from Dogo Umar School, ECCGE 3. My favorite food is lofa. So what is your favorite food?
Ask the question again.
Okay.
So what is your favorite food?
Okafor wants to know my favorite food. Okay.
What do you mean? What
The First Lady is here. I mean, she'll tell you. I will not say I have a favorite food, but I like Nigerian food. I don't like to eat eba, but I like being.
Okay, thank you, Kafo. Thank you. Are you happy with the answer?
Yes.
What's your own favorite food?
More is fried rice.
Thank you. Who next?
Merit and Nerimeta.
Your Excellency, my name is Merit Ameritere. Your Excellency, I am a primary 1 pupil of Ogbeni Primary School, and I can read, sir. How old were you when you started reading? Thank you.
She wants to know, she says she can read, and she's only 5. She wants to know how old you were when you started to read.
Okay. When I was young like you, the education system was very good. And I went to ECDG, Early Childhood Education in Emotan. And by the time I was 3 years old, I had started to read.
Thank you very much, Mary. So, Ebaide, you can see that he's your alumni, right? So you should go and chop more knuckle with him. So who's the third person? Who are you calling next?
Yetunde Oyerom.
Yetunde, okay.
Good day, Your Excellency. My name is Yetunde Oreyami. I'm a mighty pupil of Work Marriage School. Sir, when I grow up, I want to be a governor. However, the problem are enormous. So, how are you coping, sir?
Yes, Yetunde, you can be anything you want to be in this world. What is most important is, as a child, you have to have knowledge. And knowledge comes from taking your education very seriously, as you are doing now. If you know how to read properly, you know how to write, you know how to do your sums, and you are diligent, that is, you don't play around too much, you find out that you can go through secondary school, through technical school or university, and because you know what is right, because they've taught you what is right, and you continue to do what is right, you'll be able to get along with a lot of people. You'll be able to participate in your community, in your society, and understand the problems with your people. So if you want to become a governor and you have the right education, you have worked, you've interacted with your people, you know what the problems are, and if people like you and they trust you, then you can go into politics.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. You didn't tell her how you are doing it, oh. She said, how are you doing it? What are your challenges? But Ebaide, I'm not going to take over from. Ebaide has something else under his. Are you done with your questioning? Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Okafor, Merit, and Yetunde. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you for giving us time out of a tight schedule. Sir, as beneficiaries of the Edo Best initiative, we promise to continue to put in our best to ensure that your investment is worthwhile and the Edo child can compete globally.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. I also want everybody in the ecosystem to join me in giving Your Excellency a great chair. Great chair at my signal. G-R-E-A-T. Wow! You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's going to take a photograph with them. Go ahead, go ahead. Okay. What they have just done is to showcase that the governor is a superhero. Thank you very much. You can all take your seats now. Thank you, because we have goodwill messages on cue. Can we give them a round of applause? Now we know that our governor likes to eat beans and what? Beans and... Okay. So right now we have on cue another goodwill message.
Good luck.
Children.
The governor has actually survived the hot seat.
He actually survived it.
You see those children, the one asking him his favorite food and how old he was when he started reading. And Yetunde that says she wants to be a governor. But she wants to find out how the governor is cooking.
Our governor started to read and read, and that's not strange.
Quite hilarious anyway.
Quite interesting.
We hope to see more performances from the children in appreciation to the governor for the education he's giving them.
Bank Country Director, Mr. Subham Chaudhry, he's been on cue. So can we have Mr. Subham Chaudhry to give us his goodwill message? But quite frankly, I can't wait to engage the panelists who are going to try to unravel how did Edo State do it? What did they do right? That's the primary reason that even indigenes of Edo State are beginning to come back home. People like me. I'm back home. Oh. Keep my land, though. I don't come back. So is Mr. Chaudhry ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you for your patience, sir.
Not at all. Look, I'm going to be very short because I, like you, I'm also waiting to hear the rest of this panel. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Governor Obaseki. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just say it's a real privilege to have been invited to give these remarks and then to actually just see the kind of exchange that we just had. And for me, this just makes so abundantly clear that the future of Nigeria lies with Nigeria's children, and look at the potential. I mean, we've always said that Nigeria has so much potential. It's a matter of, and then we're here as the World Bank, I'm speaking to you from Abuja, to do whatever we can to support Nigeria, both at the federal levels and especially at the state level. His Excellency Governor Obaseki will have heard me say this on many occasions that, you know, the states are where the action is. And the state governors, through their direct leadership, through the respect and authority that they have and the example that they set, including, you know, starting to read at 3 years old, are the ones who can really drive the change and help Nigeria realize its potential. And it starts with investing in Nigeria's children. I mean, nothing is more important than that. And Edo Best is the perfect example of the kind of initiative which will help realize that potential, investing in the learning of, not today, it's Edo State's youth, but hopefully this is something that all the other states will pick up. And as you heard my colleague Jaime Saavedra mention, this is an example also that is reaching globally, where other countries are also looking at what Edo State is doing under Edo Best. You know, technology, innovation, all of that are critical ingredients, but I have to say the most important ingredient really is the leadership. And that you've seen abundantly here. So we're very pleased to be partnering with Edo State and with Nigeria on this effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chaudhry. At this point, we'd like to bring on stage the executive chair of SUBEB, Edo State, Dr. Joan Musa of Yahweh. She is going to present results.
I've come to say thank you. say thank you.
Thank you, children. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. You may sit down. Let's hear what your mommy wants to say.
B for basic. Edo best.
Edo best is the best. S for sector. E for transformation. Edo best. Edo best is the best.
Edo best.
Edo best. Edo best. Edo best is the best.
Obaseki.
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 Obaseki is the best.
Good job, you.
Good job,
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Edo State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Your Excellency, wife of the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Your Lordship, the Chief Judge of Edo State, the Secretary to the State Government, the Head of Service, the Chief of Staff, and all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Please pardon me because of time. I'm having to really cut down on the protocol and the recognition of names. Even I am I'm not going to introduce myself just to save time. Your Excellency, sir, on behalf of all of us in the basic education ecosystem, myself, my colleagues on the SUBEB board, all our education managers and teachers, I just want to thank you very much for the privilege to serve and for the opportunity given to us to organize this result sharing section. Your Excellency, sir, we are happy to inform you that this event is hybrid. It's taking place online and offline. And in addition to it being carried live, it's also being live streamed on various social media channels. And as of this morning, we had participants from over 21 countries in the world. So we said we are having a result sharing section, and we want to intimate Edo State, Nigeria, and the rest of the world of the radical changes that has been going on for the last 3 years in terms of the vision of His Excellency Governor Obaseki to transform basic education in Edo State. So I'm going to give you a summary overview. I could talk for 3 hours about the results of Edo Best non-stop, but I'm going to be considerate and get straight to the point. So can I have the presentation on? So today I'm going to talk about the 5 pillars of Edo Best and what we've accomplished in the last 3 years. So why did His Excellency launch Edo Best? I need to have my presentation on. So Edo Best was launched for various reasons. 5 of the reasons are on the screen. Basically, our children were in school and they were not learning as much as they ought to. Government did not have data. Government did not have data to make decisions. So there was no accuracy of data. Our schools were not being properly managed. Our teachers needed more training in service, more encouragement, support, and the modern tools to be able to do their work. Which is why, since Governor Obaseki came into office, he has promoted our teachers over 6 times in 4 years. And I'm very happy to say that the primary school teachers in Edo State earn amongst the highest salary, if not the highest, in Nigeria. An average level 9 teacher in Edo State, primary school teacher in Edo State, with salary and other emoluments, is earning about 85,000 naira a month. Next slide. So this is a quick timeline of how we started. In June 2017, His Excellency convened a workshop to look at the problems in basic education and how to start the reform process. By November 2017, we had been given the directive to go around the state and conduct a census, a whole school census of all our schools, to find out how many pupils we have, how many teachers, and what were the state of the infrastructure. In February 2018, we started off with the diagnostics of our pupils across the 3 senatorial districts in urban, semi-urban, and rural schools to test and really understand where our pupils were. And from that, on the screen is an example of the kind of assessment test that the kids were given. We discovered that at primary 4, a good number of our pupils could not do simple tens and hundreds calculation. So when they were asked the question, for example, 20 plus 10, they will bring out their pencil count 1 to 20, and then 1 to 10, and then they will now count everything together and tell you 30. So clearly we knew that work had to be done. And so, next slide. And so in April 2018, the first set of teachers volunteered to be part of the Edo Best training program. And so on April 19, 2018, Edo Best was officially launched by His Excellency. For the rest of the year, we worked and focused on rapidly onboarding the new training, the new pedagogy, classroom management techniques that the teachers were taught during the in-service professional development training. In July 2018, for example, we started our very first open day, so which is a parents-teachers conference. So that was the beginning of that whole initiative in our public school. And I remember vividly from the pictures that were coming from the field, we had parents in our rural areas wearing agbada to go to school for the first time to have an interaction with their child's teacher, just to discuss the academic well-being of their children. And since 2018, when we started Open Day, I'm glad to tell you that we do it now every term, at least twice a term. Parents come to school to know how their children are doing. We have also redesigned our engagement with the community through our school-based management committee. Next slide. Very quickly, Edo Best has 5 pillars. The first one is about the system, strengthening the system that manages basic education. Second pillar is the teacher professional development and quality assurance. The third pillar is learning outcomes and curriculum development. The fourth is community engagement and partnerships. And the fifth is school facilities and infrastructure. So the results. In Pillar 1, in 3 years, we have been able to strengthen the leadership of SUBEB and ensure accountability in the system and data-driven decision-making. We have incorporated or introduced technology in how we do things. Our teachers now carry a teacher's tablet. All our head teachers that have been trained now have a smartphone, which they use to sync the smartphone with the teacher's tablet. So technology has become a big part of our day-to-day activity. Through the teacher's tablet, we are able to track teachers' attendance, pupils' attendance, teachers' lesson completion rate, as well as their lesson preview rate. Next slide. Also, in the area of governance, 18 education secretaries were appointed to head the local government education authorities across the state. In Pillar 2, we trained the teachers, but it wasn't just about training them. It was also about promoting a radical shift in classroom culture. For instance, we replaced corporal punishment with discipline and using rewards to motivate pupils, putting in place proven corrective mechanisms to be able to modify children, our pupils, who might have behavioral challenges. So this is, I'm not going to go through everything on the screen. I presume everybody is seeing it, some of the things we've done in the last 3 years. Next slide. So as of today, I can tell you that teachers' attendance in Edo State is now 91%. And lesson completion rate is 81%. Lesson completion means at least 81% of them are completing the lessons for the day that they are supposed to be delivering. Our goal, of course, is perfection. We hope to get as close to 100% as possible. Next slide. By dramatically improving our engagement with communities, particularly with our parents, we've seen a 17% increase in statewide public school enrollment, which is about 21,000 new learners coming into our system, and many of these were from private schools. Next slide. Even during the COVID-19 lockdown last year, we were able to effectively roll out a hybrid online learning where our teachers, unaided, just from initial training that they got on how to conduct online learning, our teachers were able on their own to create over 7,000 virtual classrooms. To put this in context, we have about 9,000 physical classrooms. So 7,000 virtual classrooms were created during the COVID lockdown, and this enabled our pupils to continue to learn. And we were able to also upload content every week on our website. Of course, unfortunately, due to time constraints, we're not going to be able to demonstrate and show how the Edo Best at Home worked and the parents' testimonial. Next slide. So Pillar 5 is about infrastructure and school facilities. On the screen is the data that we collected during our school census. On the right side of my screen are things that we've accomplished so far. And you heard His Excellency during his interactive section with our pupils say that in another 5 to 7 years, our school facilities would have seen marked improvement. So we are very happy about the improvements we have made, some of which, beyond the structure, beyond improving the quality of the build that we do, we have also introduced color schemes. So our early childhood classrooms are very vibrant. There are drawings on the wall. Our P1 to P3 classrooms have a different color scheme. Our P4 to 6 classroom also have a different color scheme. In the area of furniture, we have also paid attention to size and dimension. When we started this work and went around our schools, we noticed that kids in primary 1 were being given furniture meant for primary 6, and so when they would sit down, their feet will be dangling. So if there is no proper blood circulation, how can a child learn? So through the vision of His Excellency, we've been able to redesign our school furniture and provided furniture so far to over 40,000 pupils. And we used the opportunity to launch our No Child on the Floor campaign, which is that by the end of next year, every child on the floor would have been given a seat. Next slide. So it's another example of our results. Our pupils in our Edo-based schools are learning more than they were before. They are learning now what they learned in one term. They are learning in one term what it would have taken 3 years to do. And how is this happening? It's happening because our teachers are now coming to school. When they come to school, they are teaching. When they teach, the kids are learning. And on our own, from the back end, we are also assessing what are the indicators to show that these kids are learning. And so far, from our own internal review, we can say unequivocally that our pupils in Edo State are learning. And after 3 years of Edo Best, we are on track to become very globally competitive. Next slide. Next slide. So, I can't say this enough. It's been 3 years. We've done a lot. We know we have a lot more to do. And our success so far is a big motivation for us to continue to push hard. We are seeing a massive transformation in the system, not just in the learners in the classroom. It's a holistic, system-wide change. We've had people from all over the state, all over the country and all over the world are describing the silent revolution in education in Edo State as an education miracle. And once again, I want to, on behalf of all of us, thank His Excellency for the vision to birth Edo Best. Thank you.
Thank you. I have come on stage this time to say a proper thank you. This young lady wants to be a liver surgeon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, she wants to be a liver surgeon. Right now she's only in primary 5. Her parents are in the house. What are your parents' names?
Mr. and Mrs. Erabo.
Mr. and Mrs. Erabo, please rise. Let's see you. It's your day. Right, a round of applause for them. And I'll tell you why. Because Esther Enoma is their daughter. And she's going to be reciting a poem that kinds of validates all that we've been talking about here. All the work that Edo Best has done. All the USA that we have been saying. All the up you and, you and me and all of that. It's because children like this are coming out. There's a poem that she's going to recite for us. And the children had already asked the governor, what's going to happen to us when we get to secondary? What's going to happen to us when we get to tertiary? So we must hear him speak and tell us what next. But before that, there's this poem that was written by Mr. Musais Obakwolo. And the poem is titled, Champion of the Next Generation. Esther Enoma, the floor is yours.
Good day, everyone. My name is Eraba Inomesta, a primary 5 PP of Family Support Program Demonstration Primary School. I'm reciting a poem titled Champion of the Next Generation by Moses Obakwolo. Edo, Edo Nimose. Here is the man with unremitting courage and care to stifle these obnoxious infiltrate airs. Where is the man with power and skill to stem the torrent of this overflowing evil greed? Show me the man who can form the selfish gods of backwardness to their covens and free his people from poverty and slavery? Who is that man with a dogged spirit to stop the tigers and lions with a blinding fist of fury? Who will be the leader with ego strength to lead his people higher on the path of greatness? Who is the victor who will smile on his captives of war? Hooray, we have found a man of noble birth and graceful character, a wise and benevolent leader, a merchant of great fortune, a philosopher teacher who has made Edo the best of the best, a farmer of bumper harvest, a blacksmith who knows what to form with iron drawers, a strategist, a tactician, a champion of the next generation. Oh, a great leader of great origin, rooted in greatness and more greatness, with countless branches in which united wandering belts are welcome to shelter. Alas, we are truly free. Edo is great again. That man is Godinogegase Obaseki, the extraordinary governor of the extraordinary Edo people, a leader with a heart of oak. Thank you.
Not be so. At least this girl deserves to take a picture with the governor. Abba, go down. Go on. He said you should wait. Just as Enoma, Esther, Larry. I like to speak my language. Larry, so you know, she's going to take a photograph because the truth is right now, we must hear the governor speak. So go ahead. Esther Enoma. Can the superb chair please come and join them, please? The chairman, wait a minute. What are your children? Sorry. And I'd like to ask the deputy governor to please come up. Her Excellency, the First Lady, to come up. And I want my children, the ones that task the governor, come up quickly. Those children that task the governor, come up quickly. Get your opportunity to take a photograph with the governor and his team, led by his wife. Because right after this, the governor is going to address us. Very quickly, the team that made this happen, come to the front. That's right, come to the front. Where's my smally?
Edo must move forward. Move forward. Backward never. Look up for move forward.
Okay, this is the future of Edo State. The future of champions, led by one man that had a vision and is making it happen, and his able deputy, and their biggest support from home, their wives. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We thank you. These children, when they put this picture on Facebook, their life will be better. Thank you very much. So the governor is going to address us now. A round of applause as the governor of Edo State makes his presentation. May we all rise, please, as we recognize the work of a champion, our own superhero. Thank you, everybody. Can we have the governor's wireless mic, please?
Please be seated. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, the wife of the Deputy Governor, my Lordship, Chief Judge, the Secretary to the Government of Edo State, Head of Service, Chief of Staff, I acknowledge in the audience this morning a very distinguished array of Edo's sons and daughters who have come from all over the world to celebrate this very unique third anniversary of our Edo Best, Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation Program. This is, as far as we are concerned, one of our greatest achievements as a government. So much has been said already about the accomplishments we have achieved in 3 years, trying to lay the foundations for the future. We're very, very happy that our modest efforts have received so much recognition, both locally and globally. But this has been made possible not only by the grace of God Almighty, but by Him giving us people who believe in our dreams, who believe in what we believe in. I don't see how Edo Best would have been possible if we didn't have someone like Dr. Joan Obiawe. And her numerous colleagues on the board of SUBEB, particularly the education administrators at the local government level and the teachers. Initially, it was a struggle, emptying out SUBEB and then rehiring staff for SUBEB was almost an impossible task. But we had a pillar, and that pillar for us were our technology partners, Bridge International. And for us, it's quite significant that on its own, we may not be able to undertake the changes and transformation we want. But as a country, we must now understand that our future lies in partnering, in partnerships between the public sector and the private sector. As far as we are concerned in Edo State, there is only one sector, the Nigerian sector. And so what I'm here to do this morning is to say, what next? You saw those children, they asked. Now you have done this for us. From primary 1 to primary 6, you've helped us rebuild confidence. We're now learning. We now have knowledge. We can do things ourselves. What happens beyond primary 6? What does the future hold for us? And so today, we are going to be unveiling the next phase. And it is going to be about Edo Best 2.0. And what are the objectives? First, we have made progress, but we're not where we want to be. We need to accelerate. We don't have time. Our kids are now learning better. They're about 70% of their colleagues in Europe and Asia. So the learning outcomes we're seeing is 70% of where their colleagues, colleagues are globally. They are far from where their colleagues in Nigeria are, but that's not the standard. We want to be at 100%. Like I said, we want to extend this transformation throughout the entire educational chain, not only in the basic school systems, but also in the middle school, in the technical colleges, and in the tertiary institutions. And lastly, people keep asking this question. After 2024, when you leave office, what happens? Are we going to go back? By the grace of God, no. Because we are going to make sure that this transformation is implanted. I barely do much. Yes, I have a computer in my office. I can see from my desk which teacher is in school, or which teacher has come late, or which teacher hasn't completed their lesson notes for the day. I can see. But I don't need to look at it because there are other people in the system who have already taken ownership. The teachers themselves have taken ownership. The local education officers have taken ownership. So as long as we continue to get our people to take ownership for our future, it will not disappear. It will last. So what does EdoBest 2.0 mean? It means that we're going to use the same framework which we used for EdoBest 1.0. And what were those frameworks? First, key to it all is governance. And like Shabam of the World Bank said, leadership. Once the leadership is there across every level, then you're likely to have a consistent following. We are the same sort of leadership we used in restructuring and leading SUBEB. Is the same type of leadership will move on to the technical colleges and our senior schools. As you all realize, we have a major challenge with our educational system in Nigeria. Because when most of us who are above 40 went to school, it was a 6-6-4 system. Now it's a 9-3-4 system. At one point in time, it was a 6-3-3-4 system. So we've gone through all these iterations of systems, but we've now settled, and it's under the law, that we run a 9-3-4 educational system. First 9 years of learning is basic, which means primary 1 to primary 6, JSS 1 to JSS 3 is basic education. It should be free and compulsory. At basic 3, there is the bifurcation. You either go the technical line or you go the academic line, the secondary line. But we have not structurally changed the physical environment in which this sort of learning has to occur. So that needs to happen. And then the tertiary education schools need to be prepared differently. I will come back to that. So for us, we're going to extend governance through the same level of governance through every tier. For basic education, what we're going to do is extend what we have done now. All our middle schools, all our GSS schools now come under SUBEB. So kids, don't worry. When you finish from primary 6, you automatically go on to your junior school, and you'll find the same set of teachers, the same chairs, the same standards, the same character boards. Everything will be in your junior school. We will extend the education management system which we currently use so that we can track the performance of our teachers, we can track the performance of our education inspectors, we can track the performance of our quality assurance officers. So the standards, whether it's in P1 or GSS 3, will be the same. We'll continue to hire our teachers on the same merit basis. You know about Edo Stars. We have a fellowship where we have hired about 3,000 trainee teachers now, and we'll keep them on, and once we find them fit, we'll absorb them into the system. For TVET, for technical, you're going to have more technical schools. There will be a minimum of 1 technical school in every local government. And we will try and align technical schools. So the technical schools will be a collaboration between government, state, federal, and the private sector. So if you go to Benin Technical College, for instance, we're building a workshop there where we're trying to invite investors from vehicle markets, the spare part markets, to come and have workshops so that the children who are learning in the technical schools have somewhere where they can go and practicalize their learning. For the technical schools, we want to put in place apprenticeship programs. That's what's going to make a difference. So the automobile repairers, electrical construction is going to be a priority. And in all our technical schools, we want to get these young kids from a very early age working in industry. For tertiary education, you have noticed what we've done in the last 3 years. We've been criticized, but thank God we're being vindicated. We have one college of agriculture with 3 campuses with different specializations. They are being built. We are hiring with teachers. We are getting accreditation for them. So for us, tertiary institutions are going to be focused on producing certain types of manpower, particularly in agriculture, healthcare, education, and technology. So these schools are being streamlined and being repositioned to be able to deliver on those our goals. So EdoBest 2.0 means as you look through the governance arrangement across the spectrum, you want to make sure that the foundation is strong, the middle layer is strong, and the higher end is strong. This also means that what we've done with EdoBest 1.0, where we strengthen the capacity of the teachers, has to be done in every tier. So we continue to strengthen the capacity of the teachers at the basic level, which for that we don't have a problem. The challenge we are going to have to cope with is strengthening capacity at the middle. How do we get teachers into the technical colleges? Because we've not trained generations to teach technical subjects. That we will need to work with industry. We need to get master craftsmen to leave their businesses sometimes and come in to teach these children in the technical schools. We will have to think through how we train teachers in our colleges of education, in our colleges of agriculture. We don't have enough. We just have been churning out theoretical people. We need to get them a lot more practical with a lot more link with industry. And we will never, by the grace of God, go back to the past where people thought that these schools were just set up for the benefit of a few people who were close to government and not for the benefit of students. For tertiary, we will make our universities competitive. We have started it with AAU. We have a panel there, and I've given them the mandate. In 2 years' time, if we cannot affiliate our universities to global universities, then we have no business running universities. Because we don't want parents sending children abroad to receive university education, because most of us received our university education locally, and we were able to compete globally. So there's nothing new. We don't have a foreign exchange anymore. We must now ensure that our universities are of the same standards that we send our children to abroad. We can do it, we've done it before, and we're going to do it in Edo State. But from the presentation, you can see that the whole purpose of this reform is learning, knowledge. It's not just that you've gone to school and you have the certificates. It's what does the certificate represent? Does it give you superior knowledge? Does it make you a better human being? Does it make you change your society and your environment? That's the purpose. So let's focus. What we're trying to do is move from just paper certificates to making sure that our citizens have knowledge, that they learn when they go through our educational system, and that this learning is going to be a lifelong process, and it has to be standardized, and there has to be quality at every stage of your learning. So we will continue to track learning outcomes. And what are we learning for? We're learning for skills. Because our experience in Edo in the last 3 years shows that our people from time, 600 years ago, we were innovative. We created things ourselves. Yes, we did not have the textbooks, but look at our works of art. Look at the precision in the carvings. Look at the things we did 600 years ago. That means there was learning and skills. So what has happened? In the 21st century, with what the West has done with technology, there's really no reason why we cannot adapt the technologies of the West with our own innate creative abilities, then to contribute something to the world's development. That's the responsibility we owe the world, and that's the responsibility we owe ourselves. So we will, 2.0, EduBest 2.0 means that we must, on a deliberate basis, begin to rethink every aspect of our learning process. What sort of outcomes do we seek when kids go to secondary school? What sort of outcomes do we expect when they go to technical schools? When we have a college of education or a college of agriculture, what do we expect the graduates of that school to be? Should they be looking for jobs after 3 years or 2 years in a college of agriculture? It shouldn't be, because they should have had enough skills to be able to set up themselves, and will reduce drastically this incidence of going to school, having paper certificates, and still looking for jobs. The other aspect of the transformation, whether it's in basic, secondary, tertiary, will be the environment, the school environment. It must be nice. If you go to schools in America, campuses, they're nice, they're communities. You want to go there, you want to be there. The facilities work. That's what we want our school systems to look like. We are emphasizing safety of our schools. As a policy, we will make sure that we secure, working with the local communities, all our basic schools. They must all have fences. The children must be secure in class and feel secure in class. But our campuses must look nice. They must look pristine. They must be where you want to be. They must be communities, not, just what we have today. So our school environments, we will have to invest. Government alone cannot do it. So the attitude to education in EduBest 2.0 must now change. Education should be communally owned. It's about federal, it's state, it's local government, it's community, it's individuals. Education is a public good. It can't be owned by just one aspect of government. So EduBest 2.0 means inclusion, bringing in everybody into the education space, because without education, without ensuring that we make the right and adequate investments in our education, we will not move from where we are today as a people. Finally, when 2 or 3 Nigerians are gathered together, they are complaining about Nigeria. And so you ask yourself, why? Because we all feel there's something wrong. Oh, the values are not the same. This is not where we ought to be. Life should be better than this. But we are not making enough efforts to understand how to get out of it. Yes, we're learning. Yes, we want to improve our educational system. But beyond that, what are the values that our education system should give us? Should we not come to a consensus as to how we should live? Why are we different? Why do we feel we're different and behave differently from the rest of the world? Because there are certain things that are constant. Truth is truth. Justice is justice. Good is good. It's not relative. So our education system must deliberately work on our national values. What we want to be as Nigerians. How we see our place as Africans in the world. And for us in Edo State, we did it centuries ago. It's the same blood that flows in the veins of people who created the empire that still flow in our veins. If we could do it 500 years ago, we can do it again. And on that note, it's my singular pleasure, honor, pride, and gratitude to all of you, all our partners, all our friends across the globe, particularly our multilateral partners, the World Bank, JICA, Bridge International, all of you who have taken interest in our modest revolution and acknowledged that something significant has happened to education in Nigeria, in Edo State, in the last 3 years. The evidence is out there. The data is out. We are proud of what we've achieved, but there's still very modest gains. There's still so much more to do. And we have no doubt that with the same spirit, with the same interests, with the same energy which Joan Obiawe and her team have put in, the unions, the teacher unions, have been phenomenal. Because everywhere else in the world where people have tried to reform the educational system, one of the biggest resistance have come from the teacher unions. But in the case of Edo, it was different. They supported us. Even when renegades among them wanted to truncate our system, they stood for us and fought them. So I want to thank you, teachers, that we have no illusion that without you, this would not have happened. And it's with your continued support and cooperation, Edo Best 2.0 will become a reality. So, Madam Subeb, Madam Edo Best, please come and tell me what I need to do next.
I never see this kind of man for Edo.
Thank you, Your Excellency. This is all about your vision, sir. And now that you want to spread the reform taking place in basic education to the full spectrum of the whole education sector in Edo State, encapsulated in your phrase, Edo Best. Edo Best 1.0 was an acronym. Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation. Edo Best 2.0 is no longer an acronym. It simply means Edo wants to be the best in all tiers of education in Nigeria and globally. Behind you, Your Excellency, are the products of the new education system in Edo State. In front of you, sir, are some of the technical students in the Government Science and Technical Secondary School in Edo State, and they represent the future of TVET.
So the children are ready. The children up here at the present and the past, the down there are what, at the end of the day, it's all about learning and skills. And this children, are you ready? Are you ready for 2.0? I can't hear you. Are you ready?
Good job, you.
Okay, so the governor is going to lift this or unveil. We want him to unveil officially. So I'm going to ask that you please just pull that curtain there so that the children will see. And I want the Edo State national anthem, the Edo State anthem to be on cue. We have our own anthem. I'm sure you all know it. So he's just going to pull that curtain. So release Edo Best 2.0. They say leadership is not about impressing people so that they will like you. It's about doing what matters. The governor has said, going forward, learning and skills will be it. It's a new system, so at the count of 3, our deputy governor is there to support. We are believing that even beyond 2024, and this is not politics, that someone who understands this vision will take the baton and move forward. Do I have an amen to that? Amen. Because all of this will come to naught. So we appreciate our able deputy as he assists the governor to unveil Edo Best 2.0. say thank you for the future that he has promised you. Thank you to all those that are part of. Thank you, children. You can go to your seats. Dance and go back. It's your day. Oh yeah, let's go. Are you happy?
Make you go see secretariat to small Dubai, small London.
Good job, you. Thank you.
Pensioner, they say thank you. No more protest for their money. Market women, they say thank you. No more illegal collection. Edo drivers who come, no more chairman, jump money. Who the bad they build, no more CDA collection. Baseki, now wow, Shaibu, now wonder. Edo people say make you gotta go. Wonder. Make you check infrastructure. Edo people say make you carry go. Make you check. People say make you carry go.
Yes, you have seen the unveiling of Edo Best 2.0, the next phase of this initiative to spread transformation in basic education through the entire education system in Edo State, be it junior secondary, senior secondary, and of course higher institutions. We have also heard the governor tell us that he will use the same structure and system for Edo Best 1.0 that we're recording the successes here today. That's the same system he will use to drive Edo Best 2.0. He has also said that even after his tenure, he has put in place mechanisms to ensure that the system stands the test of time. He also said that he will also play more emphasis on technical education, and a minimum of 1 technical schools in each local government area will be built to develop capacity of children in technical education. And of course, there will be more push for qualified teachers for children in the junior secondary schools who are interested in technical education. Edo Best 2.0 is rethinking, rebuilding the total education system in Edo State. It also involves investment in schools environment. And Governor has also talked about education system, rebuilding the national values of the education system.
Because he's now resident in the International Center for Educational Evaluation in the Institute of Education in the University of Ibadan. It's my pleasure to invite today Professor Charles Onocha to come forward. He is, when you talk about university basic education, he is the guru behind all the work that you see, because he was with the Executive Secretary for a long time, the Executive Secretary, Technical Service, Universal Basic Education Commission. He has worked for UNESCO. He has worked for a lot of organizations. It's my pleasure to have him up here. Thank you, sir, for being with us. I'd like to invite to join him Dr. Joan Oviawe herself. I would like to invite Dr. Joan Oviawe as an observer, just in case she has to answer some questions from them. And I'd like to invite, sir, just take a seat. Take a seat, sir. I'd like to invite a head teacher with Adesuwa Primary School, Mrs. Sandra Obaze. Thank you for waiting for us. And also a teacher from the primary school, Mrs. Rosemary Ezeiwele. And then we heard the governor and even the chairman speak about the SBMC, which is one of the key success factors of what's happening. Governor spoke about governance. If everybody is not speaking the same language, you are in trouble. So the School Basic Management Committee has in that committee teachers and parents, which helps to manage the school. And I know that in some areas, the old students of the school are also part of that body. So that's our dream as they move forward to secondary school. So I'd like to invite Alhaji Oshobujie Rilwan Bonvist, who is the chairman of the SBMC in Etsako West. Where's Alhaji? Is he here? To join us here. Yes, and thank you, sir, for being here. You can see that everybody is ready. I would like to very, very quickly start with the professor. Because what we know traditionally, just test that your microphones are working. What we know when we went to school was 6334. We're still living in that era. It appears that holding on to that system when we should be doing what government says can be a problem. I want you to address that issue for us as we begin the conversation today, as we review the outcomes of Edo Best. What is it about Edo Best that other people can emulate or copy? Could you please check to see that's working? That's right. So can we have some quiet so we can listen carefully why Edo Best is the best example? Professor Charles Onocha.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests. Okay, thank you. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, I want to sincerely congratulate Edo State on what is happening today. Many of us in old Benin State, we had quality education.
Can we have some silence at the back of the hall, please?
And His Excellency,
silence. Thank you.
Excellency will recall some 42 years ago when we graduated the same set at Ibadan, 1979. We had quality education from Bendel, from Uselu Park to Ibadan. But today, the reverse is the case. What is special about Edo Best? With 6334 or 934, whatever is the system, what is special in Edo State? It's too short a time, 3 years, to assess the quality of what is happening. But we are assessing a process, work in progress in Edo State. 2 weeks ago, I was part of the UBEC system to look at what is happening in Edo West. And we tell you, sincerely, it is not the transformation in data collection, school management. It's not the red roof we see everywhere, classrooms, no. What are the drivers of the system? Edo Best, through His Excellency, has so much intervened in the soft component of teaching and learning, not the hard component, soft component, looking at the classroom. Are the classroom conducive? Yes. Are they inspiring? Are they motivating compared to what we had in the past? For 3 years, I was the monitoring of Director of Monitoring at UBEC. For 8 years, I was Deputy Executive Technical, in charge of approvals in all states. For 14 months, I was acting Chief Executive in UBEC. So I know the situation of all schools or states in the country for at least 12 years on a comparative level. I know. Edo was down there, not top. But today we know Edo is tops. Many states, Edo, Ekiti, Ondo, Lagos, 4 or 5 national countries are going to study what is going on in Edo Best. What is special about Edo Best? The drivers in the system. You have transformed the environment to become friendly for teaching and learning. As you observed some 2 weeks ago, that's early this month. Now, what transforms teaching and learning is time on task. Time on task means a teacher is in the class. The pupils are in the class. Teachers are not picking vegetables. Students are not cleaning the floor, working in teacher's farm. But there's active teaching and learning in our classrooms. That we have seen in Edo Best. Time on task, the teachers are on task for the 30 minutes of interaction. There's no room for ball game playing, no room for discipline, no room for plays, no room for nonsense, but active teaching and learning. We observe that through the use of devices. Your Edo Best digital teachers are so motivated that the non-digital teachers are already gearing up, mounting pressure on the SUBEB chair to become digital teachers through your system. So your time on task is actually effective compared to what we experience in other states. Now, instructional strategy. What drives that strategy? A teacher can be in the classroom. Children are there. Materials are all there. but there's little quality assurance. You have instituted learner development officers, coaches, mentors in the system that ensure teachers who lack some methodologies or content knowledge are strengthened. We did observe this in some 3 schools we visited some 2 weeks ago. So I would say that it is not 3336 or 934 or 663 that matters. What matters more is the soft component that His Excellency and his team have introduced into the classroom through Edo Best program. And I congratulate most sincerely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Now we know the secret, the soft components. But you're telling me that the teachers have remained in school, the students have remained in school. So I would like Mr. Obaze, who's the head teacher, to explain how did they keep people in school. You know, when we were sitting there, you didn't know I was listening to you. When the governor was talking about going now to secondary school, say, those teachers, then go see. Are they ready to work hard? That's what you said on the side.
Really, they need to work hard.
You said what?
They need to work hard.
So clearly, that's one of the things that worked at your level. Getting the teachers to work hard. So how has that made your work easier as a coordinator for the school?
Oh, thank you. That is a very good question. I want to let every one of you to know that I am very proud to have my governor of the state here with me this afternoon. I said all protocol duly observed. My governor, I am proud to have you as a governor. For the past 3 years, I was trained as a teacher using teacher computer. I was trained as a health teacher using the smartphone.
Is that what you have before you? Yeah, that green thing in your hand?
This is the smartphone. This is the teacher computer. At 5 a.m., I synchronized this smartphone to receive all schedule for the day. Getting to school, I mark my arrival in the school. This smartphone is used to monitor the overall performance of the school, as marking the arrival and departure, short and long observation, entry of new videos.
One of the Edo Best teachers there reviewing the outcome of the Edo Best initiative. Of course, we have had successes of the initiative. Some teachers' attendance in the state have improved to 91%. 81% of teachers now complete their goals for the day. 17% increase in enrollment. That's about 21,000 new learners coming into the system. That's coming into the public school during the period of this period of 3 years. The Edo Best initiative is celebrating. We also have provision of infrastructure to over 40,000 pupils to launch the No Child on the Floor campaign. I can go on and on and on some successes of the Edo Best initiative 3 years on. Good luck.
We also have the welfare package. We earlier heard from the chairman about 85,000 naira.
Technology has been able to help
for the primary school teachers. That is wonderful. Well, we expect as the governor unveiled the 2.0 level of the scheme, better things will be expected.
All right, like the governor said, one of his greatest achievements as a governor is this project, laying the foundation for a better future for Edo children. At this point, we'll call it a wrap on this live telecast. We thank you for being a part of the train. Good luck.
Well, thank you for staying tuned. It has been 2 hours of engagement and information and so many things unveiled as far as Edo Best is concerned. Well, we just thank you so much for staying tuned. Agatha, how about you?
All right, we hand you now back to our regular programs for the day. Good afternoon.